we have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm.
My whole life, I struggled with undiagnosed ADHD until about 26 years old. And I always had this mentality of just work hard, play hard. That had literally become my norm. It was just like, if I work harder, I'll be able to do things better. So for instance, if I work harder in school, I'll perform better. If I work harder in the gym, I'll be able to party harder. If I could work harder in anything, I can just do more with that hard work. And then I reflected on this a little bit later on why was this kind of like my norm? Why was I identifying with this idea of discipline equals just working harder? And as I was reflecting, I recognized that in junior high when I was in India from grades 4 to 8, if my eyes ever wandered during an exam or if I interrupted the teacher because of my ADHD impulses, I used to get physically hit. Like my teacher would literally slap me in the face or hit a ruler on my hand and punish me. And because of that, I was able to just sit there and study on things and sit there during exams, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I was just still just so disciplined enough to just sit there because of this reinforcement throughout my childhood. And I remember it was crazy because I would go home and during exams, and I would just study so hard for all of my exams. And when I would come to the exam, I thought I knew all the material because I would study so hard. And when I would write the exam, I thought I did really well. And I would always assume that I'm going to get 80%. I would tell my family, oh, I did really well on the exam. I think I'm going to get 80%. And back then in India, getting 80% was a really high grade. And when I came back home and I actually checked my grades after my exams, it would be like 35%, 40%. I was barely passing. And it made no sense to me. And then when I would get the results back and look at the feedback, and it was always me making careless mistakes. However, I didn't know it was because of my ADHD. I thought it was just because I wasn't working hard enough. So then I just continued this pattern of just working hard no matter what. I remember I would just sit there, reread pages over and over again, even though I didn't understand them. And then slowly I would just start understanding concepts. And that was only because of this idea of just discipline being working really hard. So because of that, I was able to go undiagnosed with ADHD until about 26. So in India, I remember once I started performing a little bit better in the 60s and 70s, I was able to just breeze by. And then I came to Canada in grade 9. And the schooling system in Canada is a lot easier than India. Like it's more specialized. So when I was doing grade 9 math in Canada was done in about grade 4 in India. So it was like I was just breezing by school. I would get 90s just from this idea of working hard, sitting still, and just studying. And it wasn't until later in life, until after nursing school, is when I discovered that this was a wrong way to study. These norms that I had established were completely wrong. And discipline shouldn't be viewed as this identification as just working harder, trying harder, because that's not productive. At the end of the day, this brute force of discipline is going to make you burn out, and it is going to make you not reflect as much on life, where you won't be able to tailor the process to who you are as an individual. You won't be able to follow your passions. That's what happened with me. And I just want to share my story with these 5 series of discipline and show you guys how discipline actually evolved for me over the years. So all the way from my childhood to about 22 years old when I was done nursing school, that's where I viewed discipline as this idea of just work hard, play hard. The harder you work, the more better the results are gonna be. And it was very unproductive. However, in hindsight, that was my reality. And I just hope this series resonates with you guys as well, with my story, and helps you grow as well, and maybe find the optimal way to look at discipline for yourself as well too. So after high school, even though universities became a little bit harder in terms of studying, I still kept my outdated ways of studying and my methods, and they were highly unproductive. I remember in nursing school as well, I used to pull all-nighters the night before just because of the ADHD. Until the deadline wouldn't come, I wouldn't go as hard. And there wasn't one exam in my nursing career and even in my prerequisite career in university where I did not pull an all-nighter the night before. And I remember I would just stay up, look at a screen, keep studying, and it wasn't until the end where it's like 2 hours left before an exam, where I would actually lock in and retain all the information just to go and perform well on the exam, just to forget all of that information right after the exam, because it was in my working memory from the recent studies, but it's not gonna be retained because I didn't sleep and I didn't really understand the concepts as well as I should. And that's how I kind of got through my nursing career as well. So I hope this story resonates with some of you, and it actually helps you empower you as well to deconstruct the norms that we have in our reality that are very unproductive, such as this idea of just work harder. That's the only way you're gonna succeed, no matter what. You just gotta work harder. Sometimes it's so much easier said than done, and it's so much easier to do than actually do the hard work of reflecting and finding out ways to be more productive with the way you study or the way you view your mindset as well. Because when we get tunnel visioned because of this reinforcement of this belief throughout our life, for instance, for me, discipline being just working harder, it's very hard to change that. And it wasn't until I was actually diagnosed with ADHD and I was able to use medication as a tool to get rid of these norms that I had established for myself that I was actually able to grow and flourish as well to where I am today. So at the end of the day, if this or anything else I talk about in terms of discipline resonates with you, please don't forget to subscribe and also follow my content. I hope my story helps others and helps them realize that they're not alone in this fight against norms that have been established for ourselves, and the norms that really need to be deconstructed so that we can actually flourish in any endeavor that we're trying to pursue in life. You see, this way of thinking about discipline for myself sucked. It made me mask my ADHD symptoms, and I couldn't recognize them until later in my life. And it even forced me to spend thousands of hours of just studying, even though I didn't need to, and I could have been way productive with it, and I could have flourished in my studies while also keeping my family life, while also being able to take care of my health, while also being able to do anything I really wanted to in a very productive manner and in a holistic manner for myself and my well-being. If this story and any other stories that I have posted or any other posts I have posted resonate with you, please don't forget to subscribe, and also please don't forget to interact with my content, because this allows for my story to be pushed more and reach more individuals, and maybe I can resonate with them as well and help them empower themselves to do better as well. Thank you so much for all your time. It means the world to me, and without you this would not be possible, and without your messages about how I've helped you, I would not have the motivation to continue doing this as well. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And don't forget, my friends, let's continue to grow together.